One question that I get a lot from readers of the Daily Motivator is about purpose. You know, I write a lot about purpose, and it's a very important aspect of your life. And a lot of people write me and say, well, that's great to be following a purpose, but how do I know? How do I know what my purpose is? And that's something that I've spent a lot of time with in my life, trying to figure out as well. And so I certainly sympathize and empathize with people who are searching, who are wondering, who are trying to figure out what their purpose is. And I've finally come to the conclusion, and this is based solely on my experience, but also on brilliant minds that people who I respect, who also have kind of led me to this place. And that is that you can't really know what your purpose is before you start doing something. In order to find your purpose, you have to work your way toward it. You can't sit around, you can't go off and sit on a mountaintop and contemplate what your purpose should be. You can't even read books and study and spend a lot of time just thinking about what your purpose should be. Because that's all speculation. That's all based in speculation. And a real, living, dynamic purpose is something that you arrive at when you're in motion. You know, I like to sail sailboats. And one thing I've learned sailing is you can't steer the boat. You can't point the boat in a specific direction unless the boat is moving. It's just not going to do that. Now, with a motorboat, you can kind of do that. You know, you can turn the motor around, and you don't have to really be going through the water in order to change the way that the boat is pointing. But with a sailboat, you pretty much do. You pretty much have to have a little bit of, you don't have to have a lot, but you have to have a little bit of motion in order to steer the boat. And that's, I think, true of finding a purpose. In order to figure out your direction, to focus on a direction, you have to be in motion. You have to see the world going by you, or you have to see yourself moving through the world, and you have to have a dynamic vision of the world in order to figure out your place in it, in order to figure out what your values are, what your purpose is. And so my answer to that dilemma is just to do something. If you don't know what you're doing, start doing it. Or start doing something, even if you don't know if this is right for you, if you don't know this is what you want to do. The way to find out very quickly is by doing it. The way to be led in the directions where you can be the most effective, and in directions where you can be the most fulfilled, is to begin doing something. And see a need and fill it. See some problem that needs to be solved and figure out how to solve it. See a piece of trash that needs to be picked up and pick it up. See somebody that needs a little bit of companionship and talk to them. Find some good that you can do right where you are, not by coming up with some grand plan to save the world, but just by doing what you can where you are with what you have. And that will lead you. Some things you're going to love to do, some things you're going to be bored with, some things you're going to be very good at, some things you're going to have trouble ever figuring out how to do them. And the only way to know that stuff is to get out there and try, to get out there and fail, to get out there and succeed, to get out there and expose yourself to a whole lot of different types of activities, different types of people, different disciplines and interests and problems and challenges. That's where you will find your purpose. There's not some, I can't sell you some 6-step course to magically arrive at your purpose, because first of all, it is totally different for every different person. Your purpose is an individual thing. It's a combination. It may share a lot of things in common with other people, but in the end, it's you. And it is what you are drawn toward. And you can feel it. You can feel it welling up within you as you do work, as you put forth effort, as you solve difficult problems, as you dive into difficult challenges. Yeah, thinking and planning and dreaming and setting goals, that's all great. But knowing in the first place where you want to go, what that dream should be, you have to have exposure to reality. And also, reality strengthens your dreams. The challenge of dealing with reality will either commit you to your dreams or make you realize that they're not that important and that you need to find another dream. You have to challenge your goals, challenge your dreams, challenge your plans, your ideas, your assumptions. Challenge them with real action and motion, getting involved in life. So, to find your purpose, to figure out what you want to do, start doing it. Start doing something. Adjust. You can always change. You can always back off, go a different direction if the direction you're going is not right. But you've got to get yourself in motion. You've got to get that boat going so you can steer it. And then as it's going, as you steer around, you're going to see different things in the distance. And some of those things are going to be appealing. Some of those you're going to want to avoid. So you'll figure out which way to steer your life, what purpose to follow to make your life a great one, to make your life fulfilling and filled with joy and filled with value to yourself and to others. Thanks for coming by, and I hope to see you again soon.